Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Ecommerce Lab by Ecomcy, the place of everything related to Amazon FBA, private label, and e-commerce. My name is Vincenzo Toscano, founder and CEO of Ecomcy, and today we bring a very special guest. His name is Steven, and he's the founder of the Pro Development Academy, where they specialize on pro development and help you with everything from pro sourcing all the way to helping you getting your pro into retailers and selling them online. So Steven today is coming to basically talk us around the coming trip he's doing to the Canton Fair and all the exciting news around what is going to happen on that trip, what we need to be aware of, and also to give us some tips when it comes to pro development and sourcing. So Steven, it's a pleasure to have you here, my friend. How you doing?
It is an absolute delight. How are you doing today?
Doing great, doing great. Thank you for coming to our show. I think for me it's a pleasure to have you on. I know you have extensive experience when it comes to pro development, which at the end of the day, we know that's the key to any business success when it comes to selling online to retailers, because you can know all the strategies when it comes to advertisement and how to basically get in touch with these retailers or selling online. But if you don't have a good product, that's the basically that of your business right there. Is the 80% of the business success, I always say. So it's great to have you on and talk around that. So I think before we jump into all the tips, all the strategies, what is going to happen in the Canton Fair, and what you have going on there, I think I would like to start with you, because I think you have a very interesting background and you have an extensive experience, and I would like to hear what is your journey and how you got into e-commerce, so we can learn from it, and then we use that to jump into the topic. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I've been selling products to retailers for over 20 years.
Okay.
Starting in 2001.
Okay.
Although my people of my book know that my journey started back in the 70s. I'm old.
Wow. Long way.
But
Yeah.
in 2005, I
Yeah.
started a e-commerce business. My wife was disabled. I wanted something she could work on from home,
Okay.
and that did pretty well. And I've got some nice some blogs were talking about it. Got into a couple of magazines and stuff like that. And I was working at Microsoft at the time. I worked at Microsoft for 12 years. Eventually, at Microsoft, I was global business manager of worldwide retail sales and marketing. So I was running a $7.35 billion division of the largest company in the world one of the largest companies.
Let me ask you this quick question. Did you meet
Yes.
Bill Gates?
Oh, yes.
The big guy.
I was there when Bill Gates was still there. I have a whole lot of stories about him and Balmer. One of the best stories I have about how to compete with people comes from a meeting with Balmer. But I will tell you the first time I met Bill Gates was, and that's happened a few times. You've seen this on video, I'm sure, from lots of people. I created a presentation for him that he gave in front of everyone, and the technology did not work. So that was, he came off stage and he turned to me and he gave me a look. Now he's shorter than me. He was taller than me at that moment. In my eyes, I was scared to death.
Oh my God.
And luckily my boss stepped in and he took accountability for it. But he was absolutely a brilliant man. My experiences at Microsoft were absolutely fabulous.
Awesome.
And people I worked with there are still working at Amazon in all sorts of different levels and executive levels, because it's a very small community here in Seattle. So
that's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. So continue with the story. Yeah.
So at the same time I was working on the large level, I was also working on the small level for my own businesses.
Okay.
And people I knew, I complained about warehouses and stuff like that. So in 2006, so we're going way back there, they had told me that Amazon was going to start renting out space in their own warehouses. I thought, this is fabulous. September of 2006, they launched Amazon FBA. And October of 2006, I was one of the first 100 to sign up. So, but that's FBA being the Amazon service, not the tools and the copying and
that we know nowadays. Yeah,
correct. That started, if you think about it, almost 10 years later. I was talking to Boyan from Helium 10. And I told him I really don't use helium-10 in my product choices.
Yeah.
And he was shocked. And he goes, why not? I said, well, I started 10 years before helium-10 launched. There was no helium-10 back then.
Yeah.
But Amazon changed the world.
Wow.
Before Amazon, to tell someone they could give their credit card information to someone out in the ether,
It's
and
crazy.
2 days
Yeah.
later they would have a product. People just have that assumption now, that trust and that confidence that never existed before. Amazon changed the way people buy products, and that itself was groundbreaking. And of course, everything that Bezos did after that. My
Yeah.
first products, though, I always started focusing on retailers first, and then
Okay.
e-commerce as an additional platform. So I've had some good successes, some good failures. I've had products in Bed Bath & Beyond, Belk's,
Hmm.
Francesca's, hundreds and hundreds of small
Wow.
retail stores. Um, I've had products on every major morning show here in the United States.
Wow.
So that's the Today Show, Good Morning America.
Yeah.
I've been on Fox and Friends, Kathy Lee and Hoda. I've
Wow.
had products in USA Today. I've had products in Paris Vogue, House
Hmm.
Beautiful. I've even had products in the gift bags at the Oscars.
Wow.
Um,
That's great.
I love creating products. I still create products, and I'm in the middle of an exit, and I'll be creating products next. I have my next one in mind. Um,
Wow.
2012, because I was sourcing from China for a while. 2012, I got on an airplane and I went to the Canton Fair,
Okay.
and I've been to every one of them since then until COVID hit. And the
Hmm.
Canton Fair changes everything. When
Hmm.
I tell people that I haven't sourced from Alibaba in, probably at this point, close to 20 years. No, I
Wow.
take that back. Close to 10 years, 10, 12 years. I've not sourced from Alibaba. They're surprised. They say, how do you
How
source?
you doing?
How do you,
Yeah. How you doing?
how do you
Yeah.
find factories? And there are a few ways. Of course, Alibaba, Global Sources, Made in China, they're all good.
Hmm.
However, the number one way of sourcing in China is through networking.
Hmm.
If you've got a factory and you're doing well, and I'll use some examples here. So let's say you've got a factory and you're selling these little panda bears,
Yeah.
and then you want to go into coffee mugs. The
Hmm.
best way of finding someone who does coffee mugs is to ask your panda bear factory. They
Mm.
already know that you're serious. They know that you're doing business. They know you pay your
Interesting.
bills.
Yeah.
And in China, business is based on face, on your respect. So if a factory who already knows you recommends you to another factory, they're putting their face in
Hmm.
representing you. And of course, the other factory wants to make sure that they treat you in respect because the first one did. So that's absolutely the best way. The
Yeah.
second best way is the Canton Fair,
Okay.
because you will see and feel and touch and lift up products that you cannot do that on Alibaba. You can't
Yeah.
examine them. You
And
can
I
go
think
from,
something that I wanted to add, and maybe you agree with me on these points, that the beauty of going to these fairs is like when you go to Alibaba, most of the time you already go with the product they are in mind, and you get tunnel vision, and you don't necessarily have the opportunity to come across other opportunities in terms of product, because you put specific keywords and that's what you get. But in a fair, you're just walking through floors and you get to see thousands of products, and that's where I guess the light bulb goes in your head of that's a good product, that's a good product,
oh,
and then you go from there.
absolutely. You'll
Yeah.
see, interestingly, because this particular fair should have a lot of exciting products that suppliers have not been able to exhibit because the virtual Canton Fair was limited. So they've got
Hmm.
new things they want to show, but even established things. I had a product that was made with polar fleece. You've
Hmm.
seen that in sweaters and hoodies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was at the fair and I was looking at some fabric and I asked about it and he said, "Well, take a look at this." And he introduced me to flannel fleece. It's a little softer, a
Mm.
little shorter. I would never know if I was sourcing online
Yeah.
what the feel is
You
between
can feel it.
polar
Yeah.
fleece and
Yeah.
flannel fleece, but the quality feels so much higher, the price a little bit lower. And I had the factory right there recommending that to
Mm.
me. That you don't get. And I always forget to mention this, and it's probably the most important thing for anyone who's an entrepreneur selling products. You're going to save money, a ton
Mhm.
of money. Just seeing your factory, your supplier in person, even at the fair, you can expect prices to be down about 30%.
Yeah.
That's
Especially because you're
insane.
not buying through a platform, you're buying directly to them, so you can save the fees and everything, I guess, right?
Save the fees. They know who you are. They
Hmm.
want to do business with people they've met. I get into trouble on a lot of Amazon Facebook groups and with Amazon gurus and others because
Yeah.
I've been doing this for so long. I don't know that FBA says do this. I just do what
Yeah.
works. So
Exactly.
one of those things is there's a lot of Amazon gurus who tell you, well, don't tell them you're the owner of the fact. Tell them you work
No.
for the
Yeah.
boss. Your boss is going to say this or
Yeah.
that. No. In China, kings negotiate with kings.
That's true. Yeah. Hmm.
And when you're at the Canton Fair, you are the owner of your factory.
Yeah. You don't
And
want to be
you
an employee.
talk
You want to make the decision making one. Yeah.
exactly. And now they
Yeah.
see that they want to help you. Um, if we can share that
Sure.
the
Let's
Canton
share it.
Fair site now, what Vincenzo is going to bring up here is this is the site, my Canton Fair trip site, cantonfair2023.com. Really easy
Mm-hmm.
to get to.
Mm-hmm.
But there is an interesting video here. It's too long to play right now, but I'm going to point it out.
Yeah.
If you look at where it says you will save money, and you look just next to it, maybe slide down a moment.
Yeah. So
That
I think
is,
I think in this case you will have to
I have
slide
to
down
do the
now.
slide down.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's
very
right.
good. So let me
So walk
do
us
that.
through. Yeah.
Yep, here. So if you look over here,
Yes.
during the Canton Fair, my program to the Canton Fair, we teach everyone how to negotiate.
Awesome.
And we
Mm-hmm.
do that in the classroom. We role play. I tell you all sorts of things you may or probably have never heard before,
Mm-hmm.
including, frankly, how to negotiate as a woman, because you've got more powers than most men.
Wow.
But the
Okay.
next day at the fair, you go around with me. So this is from a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a couple of the students. They shadow me. We sat down at a random booth and I just started negotiating with the guy as if this was a product I was actually launching.
I'd say. Okay.
And I have no idea if I can do this even. Let's see. Here we go. At the end, there we go. I
Nice.
received the final prices for him. We had a 40% decrease on the small blanket, a 43% decrease with the teether.
Oh.
We were at 11.2x multiplier. And that's just, well, I'm going to stop that.
Yeah, and I bet the beauty of that is that nobody's gonna be able to get that discount just going to Alibaba on a chat. You know,
Never,
never.
never, never, never. It's only by being there in person. And you don't have to be as skilled as I am. You don't even have to go with my course. I've got
Mm.
a couple of friends who are doing the another course that are also going. Just being there at the Canton Fair changes your business.
Mhm.
The other thing is, and we can turn off of that screen for the moment.
Yeah.
The
So
other
let's
thing is
take it.
for
Mhm.
everyone to remember, whether you go with a program to the Canton Fair or whether you go to yourself to the Canton Fair, this is your business. Talk to your
Yeah.
accountant. You should be able to deduct almost everything about
Mhm.
going, whether with a program, by yourself, or whatever. So now you're looking at saying, hey, I can deduct the cost of this. I can get there and talk to suppliers and save money. I can
Mhm.
compare suppliers side by side by side. I can get samples basically for free.
That's right.
And on
And you
top
can
of
have
it,
fun.
absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
This Canton Fair is going to be different than the other Canton Fair because we know after SARS, that the Canton Fair, that people selling at the Canton Fair were hungry to make
Mm,
deals. We know that the Chinese government is encouraging them to make
mhm.
deals, and we know that they want to show new products they have not shown in 42 months.
So you feel they're more
April is going to be
aggressive now
incredible.
to do deals with people. They're more aggressive now. You think they're more
Oh,
hungry?
they
Yeah.
aggressively they want to make deals. I suspect that there will be less exhibitors than normal, even though the Chinese
Okay.
government is trying to push them. There's going to be dramatically less participants,
Do
attendees.
you feel it's due to the COVID and a lot of factories shut down because of that? Yeah.
No, I think it's going to be because of the COVID that people don't go there. They're still frightened.
Ah, I see.
And
Okay.
also because of the silliness about visas. It's taking a while to get
Confusion.
visas.
Yeah.
They just open them back up again. So it's confusion, complications. But if anyone can possibly go, this is the time to go. Let me tell you how large it is. Okay,
Yeah.
I used to describe it as 3 airports.
Wow.
3 airports. Um, for Americans, it's 217 football fields.
Wow.
But that's no longer true. During COVID, they opened up a 4th building.
Wow.
And no one's even talking about this yet.
So I guess
According to
realistically, it's impossible to see the whole thing.
it
Realistically
is it
speaking.
is it is impossible to see a whole thing at one time. It
Yeah.
is. So
Yeah.
what China does is they break it up into 3 consecutive
I
weeks.
see. Okay.
Each week has tons of exhibitors. Then they pull everyone out and they come back in again. It's
Mm.
like a giant ballet of machinery.
Yeah.
The first phase includes electronics. If you're doing consumer electronics, you want to go and attend phase 1.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's also heavy machinery,
Mhm.
manufacturing equipment, construction, um, industrial chemicals,
Okay. Interesting. And I
not what
guess
you're selling
it
in
gets divided
e-commerce.
by sub departments onto these big phases, right?
Exactly. The second phase, which starts May 23rd,
Mm-hmm.
is May 22nd, I think maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that includes most of the things that you see online. It's consumer
I see.
packaged goods, CPG. So that's pet products, that's toys, that's um, let's see what else. I'm looking around here. Gardening stuff.
Yeah, there's so
It's
many
got
things about yeah.
novelty items. It's got home decor. All of this spread out all over the whole
Mm-hmm.
Canton Fair. And then the third phase has apparel,
Okay.
has shoes, it has sporting equipment, camping equipment,
Mm-hmm.
and it also has medical, both durable medical goods and active medical ingredients. So now you've got your supplements in there as well.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
and it's just spread out. If you can bring that website up again for a moment,
Sure. Let's do it. Here you go. Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to scroll through here. So let's just see what we're looking at. This is the complex,
Okay.
and you can see all this at Canton Fair 2023,
Okay.
Canton Fair 2023. This is the complex. Here's
Mm-hmm.
another picture of it. This is Hall A, Hall B. We're looking from Hall C, and you'll never see this again now because Hall D is built right over there.
Okay.
This is just walking through one of the halls. On either side are entrances to 3 different floors.
Wow.
Each of those floors are like basically the convention center in any major city. And you can see how many people are there.
Thousands and thousands. Yeah.
It is huge. Now, I do expect in April for it to be much, much, much less because of the visa
Yeah, the
stuff.
situation. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So here's some shoes. If you're interested in doing shoes, you just go and you see shoes like you won't believe.
Yeah.
Here is an example of the map. B, A, C. Now D is over here. This is just paper. Paper.
Wow. Yeah.
More inside. Now, interesting with our trip, I also take you to Chinese factories
Yeah, I
because
wanted
it's
to ask you that.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So basically, I guess you go to the fair, but you also have the opportunity to go to the factories of some of these manufacturers, right?
Correct. Correct. When you're there, you have a chance to see behind the scenes. You understand, again, how to make your product cost less and also how to increase the quality at the same time. And when you're dealing with the factory, differentiation is simple. Your
Hmm.
factory also is probably working on new, exciting things that you haven't seen, that your competitors haven't seen, that nobody has
Yes.
seen.
Hmm.
And now you get to be the first person to bring that out.
Okay.
And that's huge. That is huge.
And just to understand also a little bit more about how the full itinerary will work. So I guess the full group, you will go together to all the different look like departments of this Canton Fair, or you split in groups and then you meet. What is usually dynamic for people, and how what they could expect from the trip overall? Yeah.
So the first couple of days, first we start off with classroom training.
Okay. Nice.
Then we go into the factories. So you get to visit factories. You understand what's happening behind the scenes at the factory. And
Okay.
this gives you a better opportunity to talk and negotiate and to ask the right questions, because now you've got some expertise. And that's very, very important. And then
Very
we
nice.
go to the fair itself. And at the fair, you have you first of all, I will take you through the fair. And as I said
Okay.
earlier, you can watch me negotiate. I'll help you negotiate and so on. Um, by the end of the first day, most people are confident. They're all going off in their own direction.
Yeah, I
Some
can
people
imagine.
have an
Hmm.
idea. They know exactly what they want to do. And that's
Hmm.
good. Know what you want. Or they know the niche that they want to do. And that's good. Or they're just going for inspiration to see things. And that's good. But whatever it is, I'm there. I've got a couple of other people who are going to be on my staff, including someone who speaks Chinese. So they're
Okay.
there. And at any time, you just text and we'll come
Okay.
right through. The last time I was there, which was November, I left in November, but it was basically the
Yes.
October fair in 2019. I put close to 11 miles on my step tracker
Yeah.
over all those days. It was absolutely insane. So one of the real key points, and something that sets my program apart from everyone else, is that it is very, very high touch. It is
Yeah.
as much
Personalized.
attention as you want.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then in the evenings, we do group dinners and I have experts that come in and talk to you.
Yeah, well,
So
I wanted to
you're
actually
learning all
point
the
that
time.
out. That I saw you have masterminds and anything, which is great, because I guess every night after the visit, you guys talk about what you saw, what you learned, terminologies. You learn from each other and talk about strategy for the next day. I guess, right?
Absolutely. I've got
Yeah.
actually, see if there's a picture up here that I can share about this. I
Sure.
don't see it here, but I'll share a story.
Mm-hmm.
So I had someone who came with me to the October Canton Fair,
Okay.
and she was very nervous, didn't have a whole lot of confidence because you're in
Yeah.
a place where people don't speak English
Yeah.
and
You
you're
don't
in a
feel in your own.
situation that you've
Yeah.
never been in before unless you've negotiated in person. It's very difficult to do so. And I give everyone this book. This is the
Okay.
Canton Fair Workbook. It's basically,
Nice.
you open it up and there's all the questions you need to ask your supplier.
I
And it
see.
just basically guides you through step by step. You don't have to worry that you don't know what you're doing or anything else. And she took this book and she used it religiously. She wrote all the notes in, she took the pictures,
Mm-hmm.
she took the business cards. Someone was so impressed with how she was doing this that they actually gave her a sample of one of their higher, more popular products, just so she had it as like a thank you. So she got built up a lot of confidence. And then at the end of the fair, she had one factory she wanted to visit. So we set up a time and the two of us went to visit her factory. Now at this point, she's doing pretty well. So I'm
Yeah.
just hanging back. I'm there to help as she
Backup.
needs me. Exactly. Exactly. So she sits down with the factory owner, or let me actually be more specific about that. I sat here,
Yeah.
she sat next to me, and the factory owner sat across the way.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting down to start talking about the her product and so on. And I'm going to actually bring up a video here.
Sure.
Guys, when you get here, when you come to Canton Fair 2023.com, click on this video because
Okay.
this will let you see all about the fair. You'll see pictures inside and so on.
Nice.
But I'm going to bring up, here she is. This is her right here. Hold on.
Fantastic. It's changed my life and my business.
So
Yeah.
that these are actual pictures of her negotiating. What she did was she got up from next to me. She
Mm-hmm.
stood up. She walked around the table. She sat down next to the factory owner. You see that right there. And
Yeah.
she said, okay, this is what I need. This is the price. How do we get there together?
Wow.
That's a completely different conversation than
Yeah.
what people typically have. And I'm going to play this a little bit more. Hold on.
Yeah.
To a level I never
There we go. You see she right there. She's like shaking hands. I'm going to do this again. Hold on.
China trip. It's fantastic.
That's the factory. She's checking out the factory. We teach you
Nice.
what to look for in the factory. You just don't walk in
Yeah.
saying,
Like
wow, I've never
quality
done this.
control, the machines, all of that. Yeah. Very
Exactly.
nice.
The quality control, the machines, the showroom, all of these are the things you need to be looking at. That's what she's doing here. You see the machines there behind her. Look at this.
Changed my
Mm.
life and my
There she is sitting down. You can tell this guy is saying, wait, she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And
I need
she
to
was
do good moves here.
completely, she had no confidence in herself to be able to do this on the first day. Here
Wow.
she is. She is a badass businesswoman. It's her company, her products, her prices.
Yeah. And
business
that's
And
to a
there we
something you
level
go.
will never be able to do in Alibaba. Never.
Oh gosh.
Mhm.
And this is one of the things that we do in our program that I'm so proud of. That you are now running a business.
Yeah. I love it.
And it's just really, it changes
It's game changer
everything.
for sure. Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
always there is this concern by people say, "Oh, why should I go to China if I can do everything online?" And I always bring this to the table, which is what you just say. It's like the human touch that you have with the factory owners, and the fact that you get to see the process by yourself, and get those ideas. That's definitely something you will never be able to do behind a screen, and that's the extra edge you have compared to all the other sellers that are out there. So it's a plus for sure.
I
Yeah.
had mentioned Steve Ballmer earlier at Microsoft. Um, I was global business manager. It's Ballmer, my boss, me. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we're in a meeting, Ballmer, my boss, and me, and Ballmer is angry. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
a Nintendo Wii came out, and
Yeah.
that our division was included Xbox. Wii was this thing you held in your hand and you swung it. It could be like a
Yeah.
tennis racket or whatever. And we didn't have anything like that.
Okay.
And Bomber was pissed. Why don't we have a Nintendo Wii? We need a Microsoft Wii. We can do a Microsoft Wii. Banging the table.
Yeah.
And my boss just waited for a point of silence, and then he said something that completely this has impacted everything I have thought about doing my own business, selling online, selling to retailers, dealing with competition, because here the competition was killing us.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, Bomber was angry.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch waited. And when there was a silence, he said, yes, we can do a Microsoft Wii. We can do a better Wii, but we're not. We're going to give the customer what they wanted in the first place. And that just hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
We can close that video for a second.
Yeah, and I think that advice now to build on top of that is so true, because I feel when it comes to having your own business, especially for e-commerce sellers, we have the shiny object syndrome. We see this thing, we shiny thing, we go there. We see the competitor in that, we replicate it, and then we never really focus on something that definitely is what we were doing at the very beginning to actually succeed as a business. And that's when you lose traction and direction. And I see that every single day. Like people try, oh, my competitor is doing that, I should do that. Oh, look, that shiny object, I should replicate it. And then it's like a race to always try to copy everything, but not really do your foundation as a business. You see what I mean? So
Exactly. So
yeah.
let's say that you do your homework and you look up and you find out that this little keyboard brush is the best selling keyboard brush. And you can go out there and say, okay, I can do the same thing. Now I can take a look at this. Frankly, I can tell you, just because I've been doing this for so many years, that this particular brush was made with a Chinese machine. And if it was made with a German machine, the bristles would be in a lot tighter and they wouldn't be flying out a little bit, and it would be better quality for about the same price. I know that. However, the job is not to go out there and make a better brush. The job is to say, what do people want in the first place? And what people want in the first place is a keyboard or a monitor without dust on it.
That's it.
So how do you get that? It's what are they really looking for? Guess what? Nobody in the world buys laundry detergent. What people buy are cleaner clothes. They're looking for that benefit. So now you've done all your homework. You know that people are spending a lot of money on this. You know people are spending money on this because they want a cleaner keyboard.
Yeah, the keyboard. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Now the question is, how do you give them a cleaner keyboard? Not how do you look online and say, well, maybe they want blue bristles or green bristles or yellow bristles. True. How do you give them a cleaner keyboard? Because that's what they're looking for. And that comes back, give people what they wanted in the first place. So you do that, whether you're doing it online on Alibaba and Made in China by networking for factories or going to the Canton Fair, which is an incredible opportunity. That's what you do. Now, when you're at the Canton Fair, you can go around and you can look. Okay, here's something that's used for, I don't know, cleaning the buttons on an elevator, whatever, and you think, aha, if I took that and I made it a little bit wider and I added some bristles to it, now I've got something that cleans a keyboard better than anything that's out there. And guess what? Nobody else has it. I don't know how many of these are, and I'm sure anyone who's watching this can do a quick search on Amazon and see how many keyboard brushes there are. But that's, I'm going to, right here, I'm going to hold it in my hand because you can't see it. I don't want you to see it. In my hand here is a product. I don't want to spill it. This is a product that helps your plants grow bigger and faster.
Okay.
And it doesn't use chemicals.
Wow. Yeah.
If you use this product, if you use it in your house plants, whatever it is, it's going to grow bigger and faster. If you use it on your tomato plants, they're going to grow really big and faster. Okay. And here in the United States, because it's legal in so many states, we can't say, the words on Amazon.
Yeah, of course.
But if you use it on those funny, interesting plants that you grew in college, they're going to grow bigger and faster. Yeah. And it's unlike any of the competitors because the goal is not how do you copy what someone else is doing. It's how do you give the customers what they wanted in the first place. You do that. And you can go through the Canton Fair and figure that. In fact, I'll give you another example. Yeah. Because I do my own products. We were going to come up with a product for dogs that pee in the bed. Okay. Your dog's older, it pees in the bed. Yeah. And there's a lot of pee cleaners that are out there. Yeah. They're all made for carpets. They're made for hardwood floors. There are none that's made for the bed. And when they pee on the bed, a mattress is basically a hollow box. It's got springs sometimes, but it's hollow. So it goes into the material and then it drips down. It's terrible. So we found someone who does an enzymatic cleaner, and Fabulous. You mix it with a little bit of water. You pour it on the bed where the dog peed. You let it dry. And as it dries, it destroys all of the urine. And because it's actually like you do it in a bottle of water, you pour it also drips down into the bed. And it destroys inside where it was. So, of course, people don't want to use anything that could be scary to sleep on, scary for their
chemical
dog.
or something. Yeah,
exactly. So we talked to this guy. I said, look, we have to have something that's safe. Okay. I'm going to take my eyeglasses off for this. This was 2016, 2017 at the fair.
Yeah.
Okay. I was unbelievable. So he takes the spray and he goes like this.
Wow.
And he sprays it on his tongue.
Crazy.
And I look at
that's
my
good
phone.
Marketing right there.
I said, "Oh my God, that's unbelievable. That's like you said, good marketing. We can do a video of that."
Doing that, yeah.
He laughed and he said, "How about this to show how safe it is?" He went like this, and he sprayed it on his eyeball.
That's crazy.
On his eyeball. So what did we do? We had a product that solved a problem people wanted to deal with, pet accidents in the bed.
Yeah.
They were going to urine pet accident cleaners. They were made for carpet. And because they're made for carpet, they have a surfactant. It has a detergent in it. But that's what they were using for the bed. We said, let's go back to what they really want. They want something for the bed that's made for the bed, that doesn't have detergent and chemicals that are going to sit in the mattress from forever more. So we came up with a solution that was very effective.
Wow.
And very
that's such
safe.
A nice story. Yeah.
And that's what you can do at the Canton Fair. We didn't even know this existed until this crazy guy sprayed it in his mouth and in his eye. We said, "That's it. That's it."
I mean,
Again,
to be
only at the
honest,
fair.
all these stories just open my mind in terms of all the possibilities and that you can get at the Canton Fair. And I'm pretty sure now people is very excited to go. And that's why now I want to ask you this next question, which is basically how you get involved with this. So if you can give us more information where they can sign up with you, how does it work, the process? So, people that are just listening and watching this, they can take action and go. Yeah.
Excellent. So our site is Canton Fair 2023.com. It's down there beneath my name. Canton Fair 2023.com. Go there. We have a program. You sign up. The program goes over 2 phases of the Canton Fair. It does phase 2, which is all of the consumer packaged goods. Then it does part of phase 3, which is apparel, clothing, shoes, medicinals, camping, athletics, and so on. And in between phase 2 and phase 3, we also have a side trip if you want to come along. And that goes to a place called Iwu. Some people may have heard of Iwu. Iwu is the home of the world's largest commodities product market in the world. It is, I believe it's a half a kilometer one way and like a third of the kilometer the other way. And it's like 6-8 floors in different sections, all filled with tiny booths. And everything that you see on Alibaba is sold in Iwu right there in person. So if you're saying, "Oh, I'm super excited. I want to do this. I want to do a brush for my keyboard." But I also I sell little novelty dancing things for your car. You could go there, walk into a booth and see 800 of these lined up.
Wow.
Done. At a fraction of the price. So there are people who do sourcing trips to Iwu. There are people who do sourcing trips to the Canton Fair. We have combined the 2 of them. And go to the Canton Fair, then we go to the Iwu, then you come back all the time. You have personal support, personal guidance every step of the way. We have the classroom training. We teach you about negotiation. We've got experts that come and join you. You get to see behind the scenes of the factories. And on top of that, like you saw in that video, I'm also going to be there for a few days
Yeah.
afterwards. So if you want me to come along and visit your factory with you,
Super
I'm
powerful.
there. We
Yeah.
can set that up as well. This will change your life. October, it's going to be happening again, but I really encourage people for April because they've been closed for 42 months.
They're
They
hungry.
are
Yeah.
hungry to
Yeah.
make deals. They are getting pushed by the government to make deals. They
Mm.
want to get in front of you. And frankly, there's going to be so many fewer
Mm-hmm.
participants. Even though we expect there to be less exhibitors, there will be so much dramatically fewer participants that it's like you're going to be, the prettiest person at the biggest dance of the year. And that's a good place
Love
to
it.
be.
That's a good way to close it. Love it. So yeah, Steven, thank you very much. And first of all, thank you for putting this out there for all those entrepreneurs. I think this is gonna add a ton of value to the community. So very good. And at the same time, I want to thank you for all the advice that you shared today and all the stories. I'm gonna make sure, of course, to put all the information that you just shared down in the description and encourage all the listeners and viewers to check it out. I think it's an amazing opportunity. In the meantime, looking forward to see how it goes. I'm looking forward to see your pictures, your videos, and everything. And I wish you all the best. And in the meantime,
I
thank you
want
for
to
being
get I
here.
want to get you to come along next time. That would
Yeah,
be
I'm
exciting.
gonna do for sure. Next time I'm
Absolutely.
gonna be there. Yeah.
So here's something you didn't know about me,
Yeah.
but back in 1989 and 90, I lived in Milano.
Ah, nice. So you speak some
So,
Italian then.
it's many years ago. I forgot most. I remember enough to say grazie, mille
That's
grazie.
great. That's great. I'm gonna make sure that next year when I go to the Canton Fair, I teach you some Italian. Yeah, let's do
You've
that.
got that. That's a deal.
Let's do it. I guess. Yeah. Thank you very much. See you in the
Thank
next one.
you.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. See ya.